What's up, guys? This is Austin, aka Mr. Big and Tasty, and I am so excited for Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Zombies. It looks absolutely amazing. The trailer was awesome. The graphics look absolutely amazing. Cannot wait for November 14th. But that's not why I'm making this video. A lot of people don't know the story behind Nazi zombies, so I thought I'd just make a video clearing that up. I mean, it would be good to know the story for before Black Ops 2. I mean, I don't know if the story will be carrying on, but you might understand after I tell you the story behind it. It's quite possible. So let's get into it. Group 935, a secret society focused on many projects such as new control and powerful new weapons, is working mainly at Dries. Group 935 experiment with new element 115. They find that it's very powerful and can be weaponized, as seen in the Wonderwaffe. They are in cooperation with the Nazi something German word I can't read, High Command. They do not exist to anyone else. All members must be completely disconnected with their families and all outside contact. They live there at Dries. Group 935 successfully stabilized and weaponized element 115 at Dries and plan on mass producing the Wonderwaffe, if granted enough funding. Another experiment which required a lot of element 115 was matter transfer or teleporting. After many tests, the test subjects got through but were unresponsive and uncontrollable at first, but were later able to be controlled using 115. Which really wasn't fully controllable. Group 935 had spies in America and knew that the USA had large amounts of element 115 Area 51. America was also trying a similar experiment. For their mind control experiments, they used techniques to order Mason to kill his enemies. Group 935 had similar intentions. They captured a specimen from Mexico, Russia, and Japan. The one experimenting with mind control on these subjects was Dr. Edward Richthofen, an assistant to Dr. Ludwig Maxis. Maxis ran Dries. They could not control the dead or undead minds using element 115, but not living specimens. Maxis' dream was to have an undead army, and Richthofen created one. Group 935 had more stations at Dries. They were using an insane asylum, perhaps for easy subjects. Richthofen was trying to find a way to break the human mind and fully control. He searched for a specific barrier in the body. He accidentally killed a Mexican by cutting out his spleen. An American spy was found in the station asylum, Verrückt. They were going to use him as a replacement for the Mexican test subject. A rescue team was sent to Verrückt. They were to retrieve the two spies, Dr. Harvey Yena and Dr. Peter McCain. You play as them in Verrückt. That's the theory. Richthofen was brought to a different subject, another American. He was Tank Dempsey. Richthofen was also doing secret tests on Samantha, Maxis, Dr. Maxis' daughter. The experiments he does on Samantha are unknown, but he tried to mind control Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takio for a long time. Richthofen successfully gains control of their minds. He wipes out their minds and sends them back to their countries. There is a good reason why he does this. It's similar to why Mason was allowed to escape Vorkuta after his mind was controlled. If any of these countries ever became a problem to Germany, Reichstag could go to Group 95, who would broadcast orders to one of these men. These orders might be assassinate an important leader or a general. This was also to see if the mind control had actually worked. With this done, Richthofen had time to think. Maxis didn't mass-produce the Wonderwaffe like he promised to Reichstag that he would. Maxis was not fit to lead Group 95. At the same time, the Illuminati wanted Maxis dead as well. Richthofen was in the Illuminati. Richthofen was the closest one to Maxis. The Illuminati contacted him telling him that it was time to kill Maxis. Richthofen hated both Maxis and Samantha. Samantha had a dog named Fluffy. Maxis used Fluffy in many of his tests. When Maxis was doing a test on Fluffy and the teleporter, Samantha noticed. She came in running to the room to save her dog. Maxis was experimenting with the element 115. Its effect on the dog. The dog became a hellhound, as seen in a lot of the maps on Call Zombies. The Keynoter, Toten, Dries. It became rabid and aggressive. Richthofen saw his chance and locked both Ludwig and Samantha Maxis in the test chamber with Fluffy. Seeing their only escape, Maxis took Samantha and teleported. The teleporter was not yet perfected, so they both died. Samantha's soul was merged with Aether, an alternate dimension. Here, she toys with the survivors of her demon-like ways. Maxis most likely died while teleporting like the other subjects. Richthofen covered it up as an accident. Group 935 needed more element 115 to perfect the teleporters. There were large deposits of element 115 on the moon across space. A meteor crashed in a swamp. Group 935 moved quickly to harvest the element and continue experiments. They built a facility in the swamp to house their projects. Richthofen had his own quarters here. He continued to experiment with the weaponizing 115 and mind control. They raised the dead with 115 as they did with Reese. The teleporter was perfected as Shinonuma, though it was not featured on the map. The undead army grew out of their hand and out of control, and the facility was being overrun. Richthofen barricaded himself in the quarters. Here is where the key events happen. Richthofen used the facility room at the facility to broadcast orders to these brainwashed soldiers, Dempsey, Nikolai, and Takio. He told them to find each other and come to his position. That's when they would save him. In the trailer for Shinonuma, we hear the soldiers arriving at Shinonuma without Richthofen. They find Richthofen and save him from the zombies. Knowing that he controlled them without a question, he teleported them with a new, perfectly safe teleporter back to Derice to see if the zombies were still controlled there. Arriving at Derice, all the scientists were dead. The 4 soldiers fight the zombies. All of this information is 100% proven. While using the Wonder Wall following the teleporter malfunctions. It only sends them back completely to a different Group 935 station, but it sends them through time also. This is Kino der Toten. The 935 station disguised as a theater. This is where Richthofen realized how much bigger the Group 935 is. Much bigger than he had thought. This is where he makes his plan. In Ascension, Russian scientists were doing experiments on space travel, teleportation, and other things. The head scientist was Gersh. One of his assistants was Yuri Krutch, another weird word I can't read. Yuri was a great scientist, but was often late and almost ruined the Casimir mechanism. Gersh took notice of his mistakes and transferred him back to the space program. There he had to do simple tasks. He was very upset, but he knew he couldn't fight Gersh. His hate for Gersh grew daily. One day he found one of his journals in a shipment of boxes, perhaps the one from Derice. The journal contained experiments with 115, maybe Richthofen and Maxis. He secretly started doing these experiments and made sure Gersh didn't find out. These experiments started connecting to the real world and Aether, as they did in Derice. Samantha started to control Yuri. Project Mercury, or the Gersh device, was an experiment at Ascension. It works similar to the teleporters at Derice. You can travel through Aether to a separate destination. Soon Samantha could fully control Yuri. She made him act like he was boasting to Gersh that he perfected Mercury. As heard in one of the radios, Gersh enters the room with Yuri, and Yuri activates the device. Samantha then sucks Gersh. His whereabouts are unknown. We don't know where he went. You hear Gersh when he enters Ascension. He is the man who guides you to freeing him through the Casimir mechanism. The Casimir mechanism might be a kind of barrier between Aether and the real world. There is the only problem, besides the fact zombies are taking over the world. Freeing Gersh means freeing Samantha. This is the screech and scream that you hear at the end of the Casimir mechanism. She even drains the color for a few seconds. Also on the map 5, its events are occurring at the same time of events as Ascension. Sometime in the present, George A. Romero stumbled upon 935's research while making a World War II film. He and the group took a ship out to an abandoned lab in Siberia. After he and the ship's crew were simplified, only the cast made up to Sarah Michelle Gellar, Robert Englund, Danny Trejo, and Michelle Rooker. This is set to the stage after Call of the Dead. After the Casimir mechanism was completed in Ascension, it overloaded and the teleporter sent the original characters to Group 935 facility in Siberia, where they were trapped behind a locked door. It doesn't show that much in the game. The celebrities then helped them to escape paradise. Escaping wasn't Richthofen's only goal, however. He meant to travel to Siberian facility to obtain the Golden Rod, which is the celebrities found for not knowing any better. Richthofen thanks the group by giving them the Wunderwaffe DG2 to help them fight the zombies. In reality, the group could have escaped the security system, but it was disabled. It was unknown became of the celebrities after helping the group escape. Shangri-La, however, does not live up to its name, Paradise, as its inhabitants have been zombified before the group's arrival. Richthofen states that it is the last step to controlling the world before it is teleported there. The temple houses a mining facility filled with the element 115, explaining the habits of zombification. Prior to the group's arrival into Shangri-La, 2 explorers, Brock and Gary, went on an expedition to prove their theories on Argatha. Brock later figures out that the temple wasn't built in an ancient civilization by the people in the modern era. Instead, after investigating the temple, the pair accidentally activated the temple's time travel and died in a resultant zombie attack. The group travels back in time and helps the pair survive. The pair's changing fate was illustrated by the radio. The change's message was location in the group to help them. When the group finally creates a focusing stone, it lands on an altar with Richthofen's name on it, meaning the temple was in fact another Group 935 facility, and explained Richthofen's knowledge of its location. The two explorers are sent back to the moment they discover the temple, indicating that they are not stuck in that they are stuck in a never-ending loop. Now in possession of both the golden rod and the focusing stone, Richthofen believes that he can now control the group. When they attempt to travel back to Area 51, the group finds that it is too overrun, so Richthofen leads them to a top-secret moon facility, showing the reason why no news about the moon or moon travel was occurred. They have seconds to use the teleporter. The teleporter operates correctly and sends them to a lunar base, 109, Griffin Station, a laboratory base on the surface of the moon. On the arrival of the moon, the crew finds out that zombies have inhabited the moon as well. They put their very last fight to survive on the moon. The characters have the last task of freeing Samantha to kill her at once for all, showing that at the end of the moon, Samantha is brought back to life and then killed. Also due to the 115 on the moon, the astronauts and scientists sent there had been zombified before the group's arrival. Even worse, Samantha Maxis got to the moon first, and has been awaiting their arrival. The moon base was apparently built to uncover the ancient obelisk. The crew set up the launch protocols, and the footage shows that the 3 lunar rockets launch off to the surface and head toward Earth. The 3 rockets reach Earth after a few minutes later and are shown to once and for all to destroy the Earth with a great big fireball, with all the zombies on the moon all killed off, and the irritated element 105 had been discarded off the Earth and destroyed completely. Dr. Richthofen and Nikolai Dempsey in Tokyo survived the zombie apocalypse, and the rest from there is unknown. We don't know where they went after that. So, do you guys think that the story will carry on? From the trailer, there's different characters, but as you can see, the time traveling. Do you think I don't really know, but leave some comments below what you think. If you think the characters will be returning, or any other thing you might think. Also, if you're having trouble with Easter eggs on zombies, just send me a friend request. My name will be on the annotation on the screen. Just give me an ad and I will help you do the Easter egg. If you wouldn't mind, guys, leaving a like on this video and subscribing to our channel really help us out, and I guess I will catch you guys later. I'm gonna go suck my... Okay, I gotta stop saying that.